पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे तमद्भुतम् अम्बुजवीक्षणम् पीताम्बरं सान्द्रपयोधसौभगं श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मं गलशोभकौस्तुभं पीता च चतुर्भुजं शङ्खगदाधुध्यायुधं मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरम्. So, a warm welcome to all of you once again for this fourth session on Glories of Kartika Masa, especially to know more about the Damodara Leela, Krishna's wonderful pastime, Damodar Leela. So, last 3 weeks, we had discussed about how Yashoda. So, I just want to recap and want to just get back all of you to that mood, so that we continue from where we had stopped last week. So, we all discussed that how Mother Yashoda, it was on a Diwali day, the Deepavali day, on the early morning. So then she got up early morning and she got ready. I'm not going much more deeper into the things which has already been discussed. Just as a recap, just to revise, just to get connected to the mood. So I'm just brushing all the things which was discussed. So then our kitchen was very big, and there were a lot of maids, hundreds of maids were there available in the kitchen, and a lot of helpers all through the day. The things was the previous day, everything was arranged, all the best of the best ingredients was arranged for the celebration. And practically even the Yashoda, she didn't need to even lift a pot, because so many maidens, so many helpers were there, because she was a queen of Vrindavan. So, but when it came to serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna, so she felt that no one could do better job than what she could. So she prepared everything for Krishna. Basically, the some sweet meats made up of that the cow's milk. So that then when she got ready, and she started boiling the milk. So last week also we discussed about how the Nanda Maharaj had 9 lakh cows. Among them, the 8 were very strong, and among the 8, 7 the cows were all the 8 cows were fed with uh, the Padma Granda grass, Padma Ganda grass, the grass which had the flavor of lotus. Such a wonderful, nutritious, nourishing grass was fed to 8 cows, special grass. and and apart from that, from the 7, the cow, 7 milk, some cows, the milk from the 7 cows was again fed to the 8th cow, which was all the more special. And from the 8th cow, the milk was especially meant for Krishna alone. So it was a greatness. Actually, they say that during Nanda Maharaj period, there was so many, just like we have different kinds of rices, like Gandasale, that Basumati, then we have bullet rice and so many rice, right? So probably we can count and say 6 to 7 types of rice, boiled rice and that rice, like that. But just take some 100 years back, there were hundreds of those rices, varieties of those rices. All have been lost now because of various other reasons. People are not interested. They wanted only the best of the best crops and things like that. But there were many other rices with different flavors. So similarly, during the cows also, there was a lot of different cows used to give the milk with the different flavors, mango flavor, pista flavor. We not need to go to the Nandini or Amul to find the yeah, pista flavored milk or badam flavored milk. So that was rightly available with the such kind of cows. So that kind of cows were there. Just like now itself, we can see the indigenous cows which are in India are being lessened, and furthermore, it's decreasing. Everyone is going for HF or Holstein Friesian or the Jersey breeds or the what do you call this buffaloes, but no one wants to really grow those different varieties of cows which give different flavors of milk. So similar during Nanda Maharaj period, there were a lot of cows which are giving a lot of flavors. So that eighth cow was such a wonderful cow, and she used to milk that cow personally, and she used to make sweet meats for Krishna. So when all the small jobs was taken care by the maidens of Yashoda, and the whole kitchen was bustling with a lot of activities. All the chulas, all the fire burners was kept burning, and a lot of items was cooking. Everything was going on. But personally, she monitored everything. Even though she monitored everything, but she personally wanted to do everything she's going to feed for Krishna by her own hands. So as she was churning, so then she just kept the milk for the boiling, and she came back for churning the yogurt in the pot, in the big pot, in the middle of that whole thing was in the middle of the kitchen. So in the middle of kitchen there was a pillar, and to that pillar, and she had kept the big earthen pot and filled with the yogurt, and there was a rod, what is butter churning rod. So that was tied, and she was just trying to get the butter by churning, churning that rod. And Yashoda hope, she had such a hope that the eighth cow, which is given such a wonderful milk and it's converted into curds, and now this butter will be coming out of that, and Krishna will definitely have this wonderful delicious butter, and so that he doesn't have to go to someone else's house to steal the butter and get the bad name. So she was to get, no, she was hoping very much. So in that mode, she was just closed her eyes, and she was concentrating. She was constantly remembering Krishna's other pastimes, and she was just remembering those pastimes, and the two silken ropes, say two silken ropes, which was tied to this wooden rod, and she was just churning. She was just turning, churning. And as she was churning, and she was meditating upon Krishna's other pastimes, and she was singing and also doing service. So Kaya, Vacha, Manas, and all the three ways she was completely engaged in thought of Krishna, engaged in remembering Krishna, and that was something wonderful. Bhagavatam explains to that level that the rope which was tied to that rod, the churning rod, and at the ends of the rod rope was a velvet cloth, so that she can have a good grip of the rod. So that level, that meditation, such deep the Bhagavatam goes in. It's just a small pastime, but such a wonderful. So as she was, it was just looking like, just like a warrior, has hold the reins of the horses and trying to go in the war. So similarly, this she has been explained. She has been compared to that she has been doing pull and push of these ropes alternatively, so causing the rope to churn the butter, churn the yogurt inside the pot. And she made herself comfortable, and as and when she started, the speed also increased, and the churning rod also started swirling, whirling, and all the curds which are within that, and the earthen pot was also splashing out little, and it was all coming out, and it was falling on the floor, some of them. And this was during that time her earrings was jingling with the song which was singing, and her bangles was twinkling, in synchrony with her song, and her ankles of her silver ankles of her legs were also making some sounds, jingling. So all those jingling, clangling, all the sounds also was joined to that orchestra of her beautiful song. She was just memorizing what she had captured Krishna's pastime in her the previous days, the previous leelas. So she was experiencing that Krishna was then she was into Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said this is a real Krishna consciousness. So all the Vrajavasis, what they used to do, they used to always have a pen and paper whenever she used to sing the glories of Krishna with a kind of a song. They used to immediately note it down, and they used to publish this to whole of Vrindavan, and all the maids of the Vrindavan, they would get a new composition by the end of the day, and by the end of the day in the evening, all residents of Vrindavan and all these songs will be in the tip of their lips. So that was everyday activity was, they used to make men just like Purandaradasa made some 4 lakh songs, but hardly you can find the 4,000 songs now. Purandaradasa is just 500 years, 400, 500 years back. The histories of Purandaradasa is just 400 years back. Just imagine 5,000 years back, how many songs Yashoda might have compiled. So, so she was just meditated. The Bhagavatam gets into so deep that she was dressed in saffron sari, and she was so busy in glorifying Krishna. Her words was engaged in glorifying Krishna. Her mind, her thought was recollecting the divine pastimes of Krishna. Next what, next what, next what, and her hands was completely engaged actively in serving Krishna. So Kaya Vacha Manasa, in this way, she was so much engaged. The Malati flower on her head, felt so great that we are on head of Yashoda. She is such a pure devotee. Actually, she should not be on head of Yashoda. We should be at her feet, and they all started falling at her feet. See, they all started following feet, and all the maidens, and all her servants who were there in the kitchen, they saw herself, her as some sannyasi was sitting there, and he was trying to meditate upon the Krishna. That's what they had a feeling there. So suddenly, what happened when she was in this whole mood? Immediately there was a standstill, and everything went on stop. Bangles stopped clanging, and the ankles stopped jingling, and the song stopped, everything. And immediately she opened her eyes. And completely it was like a frozen. The whole moment was just a frozen. And immediately she opened her eyes, and she saw the beautiful face of Krishna. So Krishna is standing there in front of her, snatching the rod with his little cute fingers. So he's snatching the rod, and he is snatching the finger, and he is standing there. So, and we have to understand, and this is the same form where the in Dwarkavasis were worshipping. That is later the same stone, the same Murti came to South India, and Madhvacharya installed the same deity in Udupi, that Kadagolu Krishna. Isn't it? That's Kadagolu Krishna, the Krishna with the churning rod is the same Krishna, the same form where he was holding in one hand the churning rod, and other hand the sari of his mother. So this is the beautiful the pastime there, and she was singing, and she was completely at the pinnacle of her devotional ecstasy. And immediately when she saw that Krishna is there right in front of her, so all those the philosophical points also was discussed in the previous session about what the pot means and what the yogurt means and all those things we discussed. So I'm not going much deep into it. So she was completely was completely dragged again back to this material world. But she saw Krishna. Krishna was feeling was very hungry, and he just saw Krishna. Yashoda looked at into to her darling son, and what happened? And immediately the Krishna, the Yashoda, just stretched her arms, and immediately Krishna went and hugged hugged Yashoda, and Yashoda immediately took him on her lap, and immediately started feeding. So as she was feeding with her nectarian love through the form of milk, and it so happened on the other side. So as she had kept the milk for boiling, so that was almost it was overflowing. So it was overflowing, and that past time also I explained to you that the milk in the pot which was kept for the boiling was feeling so much agitated, so much envious. What is this? The milk Yashoda has unlimited milk, and Krishna also is also unlimited. Like he drinks unlimitedly, and his whole stomach will be filled with just with the Yashoda's milk. And what would happen to me? And there's no use of my life, so let me give up my life. So the milk thought like that, so it started overflowing and wanted to give its life, wanted to suicide itself with the fire. And immediately she got to know the smell she started coming up, and immediately what she did, and she put the Krishna back on the floor. So before the milk spill over everything, she could put the Krishna back on the floor, and she immediately ran towards that the pot, so that she would take the pot and keep it down. So the best of the best milk should not be wasted. So in this way, the clean. So then what happened? She started cleaning all the portion there of the stove and everything. And here on the other side, Krishna was grinning with anger, was so bursting with anger, and he was saying that, such a, I have left Palkadal, I have left the ocean of milk, and I've come here, and you have just to save the 2 liters of milk, and you are leaving me and going. And that's what he got angry. And Krishna, I want to teach a lesson. So he just saw here and there. So what he did, and there was a pestle stone. There was a stone there. Generally, we keep in the kitchen the stone to the crush the chili, ginger, like that. So that stone he saw, and that stone was also inviting Krishna. Oh, Krishna, please come, come, come. It is also was excited. The stone was also was excited. Oh, Krishna is going to touch me. So Krishna ran to that and picked up the stone, and he immediately saw that pot, because the pot was also a part of his vengeance. Um, because that that diverted Yashoda from Krishna's attention. So that then what it did, then he just threw the stone to the pot, and immediately all the curds which was there in the pot immediately started flowing out. So and then what he has to do, then he still, his anger was not subsided. He wanted to teach his mother and some great lesson, that this is not the right way. I'm so hungry. I've come here with the love, and you want to save something else. But on the other hand, you have to see here, Krishna Yashoda had gone to save the milk, just for that milk will be used for preparing sweets for Krishna itself. So that was that philosophical discussion also last week. We had discussed all those things. So here Krishna, now he has to go somewhere, and to have to create some more pranks, some more disturbances, so that really Yashoda gets really angry, because in the previous day Krishna had shown the whole universal form in Krishna's mouth to Yashoda. And Yashoda was completely flabbergasted. She was completely moved. And this is not my son. This is someone else. How that? How come that the whole universe can be seen in my son's mouth? He may be some god or some demigod or something else. But still, that Yogamaya, even though that was a Yogamaya, she forgot what she saw in Krishna's mouth. But still, she would not. No, she was not able to come out from that shock. But to make so Krishna wanted to make Yashoda that I am your little darling, little son. I'm not any god like that. And Krishna wanted that Vraja Vrindavan mood to be like that. So, so that's what Krishna wanted to make Yashoda more anger. So what he did, so he wanted to jump. So, but what happened? All the curds and everything was started flowing towards him. Became big puddle, big pond around him, and he wanted to what to do. He didn't know. So he wanted to jump, and somehow he tried to jump, but suddenly his feet landed right in the middle of that puddle, middle of the big the pond of curds which was flat, and creating a splash, and splash happened. So there Acharyas explain this is the same God who had covered all the three planet system during the Bali Maharaj's pastime, and here he's struggling to just cross one puddle, just cross one pond of this thing, a small boy. So finally, so this Krishna, he goes to the storehouse. Luckily the storehouse was open, because all the things was happening in the early morning, cooking and things like that. Storehouse was open, and Krishna with this little white footprints, with all the curds was stuck to his feet, and with his white little footprints, he started creating a trail, and a trail towards this storehouse. And as he went there, and he said there was unlimited scope for him to make Yashoda angry. So was awaiting there. So what he did, he brought down every pot which was tied up, down, left, right, up, down, everywhere, and everything was broken left and right. And he started eating every butter, and one morsel used to eat butter, and other morsel used to throw to the wall. And in this way, the whole storeroom was plattered with lot of butter, curds, milk, and everything. It was a big mess. It's a royal mess, and it was no one could imagine that mess he had created. And on the here, Yashoda, she came back after attending to that milk, and when she saw us, she was shocked that Krishna, what damage he has done. Then he has broke this her hard work. That whole curse has been wasted now. And she also feels, oh, my Krishna is very intelligent because he hit. Why could not I hear the sound of breaking this pot? Oh, Krishna is very intelligent. He broke the pot at the base of the pot, because why? At the base, when break, there's the least amount of noise and the maximum amount of damage would happen because it is filled with the curds inside. So she appreciates that. Oh, beautifully, my son is so intelligent. And and further she saw that Krishna's following the trail of Krishna's white footprints, which was there going towards the storeroom. And when she went to the storeroom to catch Krishna, and she saw the shock of her life. She started screaming, horrifying mess. She started and she started screaming, and all her servants and the maidens were there. Everyone started coming there, and she became so angry. And she becomes so angry. Now I have to teach him a lesson. I have to discipline my son. This is not the way. He has become so naughty. And what would happen if I allow him to do like this? I have to train him. I have to discipline him. And this what happened. The Krishna, meanwhile, he went behind the house and on a mortar, old mortar. So he stood. So mortar was a thing where they used to grind the grains. So that mortar was there, and the mortar was he was standing on the top of that unused the mortar, which was upside down, and around him there was a lot of monkeys. So all of the monkeys were gathered, and they were Krishna was feeding them this butter so much. The last time also we discussed that the Krishna wanted to teach a lesson to Yashoda, that when Yashoda comes and sees the whole scenario, that when Krishna is going to feed monkeys and monkeys rejecting that butter, they don't like that butter. It is so. So before that has to happen, Krishna was feeding all the monkeys to their stomach full. So when some monkeys are stomach full, then they will reject eating that butter. Then that when the mother sees and that scene, that monkeys are rejecting, and she gets so agitated. So, and this way, Krishna, what he did, he went and started feeding the monkeys like that, and suddenly he saw that all, and he was sitting behind. He was showing back when mother was just approaching from behind, and he wanted to silently, she wanted to come and catch Krishna, and immediately she was fast, approaching so fast, and all the calamity would come in. But immediately, what happened? There was a change in the facial expressions of all the monkeys. They become all agitated. Monkeys, they become so agitated very fast. And in one of the monkey's eyes, he saw his mother was just fast approaching with their stick, and he had never thought that mother would come with the stick. And immediately he dropped that butter pot there itself, and he stood on the grinding mortar and jumped from the grinding mortar and started. And when he jumped from the grinding mortar, immediately his legs started wobbling. Because small child, jump from such a big, probably 3 feet or 2 feet, 3 feet or 4 feet. What happened? Immediately, leg got a little twisted, but still, he was so panicking. And in that great fear, so he could not balance himself, and then limping. He was just running to get away from his mother's catch. And this is what he was doing. He was just he was in shock. What is this? The same mother who was so lovingly, caringly, she was so she kissed him and hugged him and started feeding him, and now she is chasing him with the stick, which is immediately can't be recognizable at all. Is this not my mother? What she is doing? And so Krishna had never knew the fear of his life till then. After seeing the mother with the stick, and Krishna, that Yashoda was so angry, and Krishna was completely into that fear, that he was running fast, so fast, and Yashoda was also running so fast. So the Krishna then immediately, Yashoda was so angry at Krishna that at one point of time Yashoda says that, please stop. She ordered Krishna to stop, and immediately Krishna also stopped. He froze for a moment, but there was a lot of distance, and she also stopped for a while. Okay, anyway, Krishna stopped. I will go and catch him. So, but what happened? My mother told me to stop. Pitruvakya Paripalana, just like Rama Leela, here also has Krishna Leela, Matravakya Paripalana. Whatever mother said, okay, stop. Whatever, she let her beat me. So for a moment he stopped, and immediately he started running the next moment. And immediately he said, oh, you are running again. And immediately Krishna, Yashoda also started running so much. And This is very much important to understand. See, the great yogis or mystics or even great devotees are unable to catch Krishna. And she was able to do, she is able to do where even demigods or great powers are unable to catch Krishna. But here she was about to do something very exalted, which, to catch Krishna. And she had a last effort, and she was just wanted to catch Krishna somehow. She wanted to do, so that's what last week also we discussed about. Krishna is known as a durandaraha. Durandara means one who remains unknown to even the yogis or mystics or anyone like that. So yogis try to chase him, try to understand him, try to capture him through their hearts, to their knowledge, to the scholarliness, to the austerity, to the intelligence, and many things, but no one can capture Krishna by in any way. So the only simple way to love, catch Krishna, to simply love him, not a yogi. So Yashoda was not a yogi, not a gnani, not a mystic, not a big warrior to go and capture Krishna. So she can run so fast. So she was just a mother who loved all with her heart. So Krishna allowed himself to be caught. And that is the power of love, which explains there. So we have to understand someone who cannot be known by the great allowed himself to be captured, to be known. So simplicity is very much important rather than having complex intelligence, complex knowledge. So simplicity is we all have to work upon that simple life. So simple living, high thinking, Prabhupada says, right? So simple living, simply you have to love Krishna. Don't think that, oh, Krishna is Supreme Personal Godhead. Because of Krishna, Supreme Godhead, I have to love him. Or Krishna is Bhoktaram, Sarvalokamayasham. He is a enjoyer of all all the things in this world. He is a primary enjoyer. Oh, that's why I have to love him. Don't try to love Krishna through your knowledge. Just try to love Krishna simply, just like Yashoda. So we don't have to think so much, having so much knowledge to love Krishna. To love Krishna, just like when you love us first sight. When you see when a boy sees all the Hollywood, Bollywood, Mollywood, Collywood, Tollywood, Sandalwood, every film is what about what? Love at first sight. One boy sees a girl, oh, immediately falls in love. She don't know whether she has a children, she has husband, how many husbands she has, how many children she has. She has some disease, or she has AIDS, she has some ailments, or she has some problems, she has debts. Knows it. Love at first sight. Immediately start loving. Similarly, why can't we love Krishna simply seeing at him? Just because Krishna is not moving his hands doesn't mean he's a dead matter. He is so living that even though every day, or you all want to come to the Mangalarti, you want to hear the Mangalarti, practice Krishna consciousness, chant Hare Krishna mantra, attend festival. It's the same festival, same Hare Krishna mantra, same kirtan, same this thing. But again you want to do that. Why? Because something from heart, something is drawing all of us. So similarly, simply you want to learn love Krishna. Don't complicate our consciousness. Let me love Krishna when you understand all the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or let me try to develop my love for Krishna by knowing the knowledge. No. Parallelly, you just read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, what Prabhupada sees. That is important because it's not be a bhavukas. We should not be a bhagavasa, sentimentalist. We're not sentimentalist. We are a bhakti yogis with backed up with the gnana and vairagya. So that is the bhakti yoga. Some madhvas on online or something, they're saying, oh, ISKCON people, they do bhakti without gnana. So they're just waste. They say, no, gnana is also there. We have Bhagavad Gita. We distribute Bhagavad Gita. The whole Prabhupada gave so much of literature. This for what? Gnana also is required. So we do gnana also. Some madhva scholars unknowingly and not knowingly misunderstand what we are doing. So sadly. Anyway, so we have to understand this. Just like Yashoda, she forced Krishna to be captured by her simple love. So Yashoda understood the language of love. That's what Krishna also was wanted to. He preferred to communicate with the jiva through that love. So that's what we also have to learn the language of that love. What Krishna is. Then there's no rule applies in that. All those things. Love Krishna. We are sleeping, you love Krishna. Eating is love Krishna. Taking bath, you love Krishna. Walking, talking, going, doing work, and everything. Keep loving Krishna. And this is what very much important. That what our Shastras is showing here by Yashoda's pastime here. So when she was doing this, there was the two voices which was going within her. So what are the two voices which was there? One voice was as a loving mother, and she was very much concerned about Krishna. and that, Krishna has become so afraid, so and his leg has become twisted. What is that? She is very much conscious of that. So as a loving mother, she was so much concerned of her son. That was the first thing which was going in her mind, one of the voice. And the second voice which was she was so much concerned was, she was such that this child has become so much naughty, and so much he become a naughty prankster, and he has to be disciplined, and he has to be disciplined. That was the second voice which was going in her mind. So so one voice told her to throw the stick away and just embrace Krishna. He is your son. He is her son. And a second voice which was saying, no, no, not melt down to anything. We should punish the child. Otherwise, tomorrow he will again repeat the same thing. So it's not acceptable. The behavior is not acceptable. The voices was just simultaneously what was running in her mind. So as she was trying to capture Krishna, and finally she got captured Krishna, she grabbed Krishna to her arms, and she pulled Krishna towards herself. And immediately, what happened? The uncatchable was caught. So we have to understand. So mother and son both were panting for a lot of air, because they were running for a lot of distance, and practically till the Nanda Bhavana's gate. Krishna had, Yashoda had chased Krishna till there and somehow captured Krishna there. So, so they both bend forward, they started bending forward, trying to take the heavy breaths. And for a few seconds, they wanted to catch a breath and everything. Now, so slowly they got relieved from that the stress, and finally Krishna was caught by Yashoda, and his one finally what happened? His eyes was transfixed on the stick which was there on Yashoda's hand, and Yashoda saw that, and immediately she threw away the stick. The stick was afraid what will happen to my life if Yashoda beats Krishna, and I have to die eternally in the hell. The stick was also thinking like that. So his lips began to trembling. What will happen? And a tear started rolling down from his cheeks, dragging down through all his black mascara which was there. Kardige, you can call Kardige. That mascara which they put below the eye. So that tears started coming down, and it mixed with this mascara. And first of all, Krishna is black, and over and above, further is the chubby cheeks, and his nose and everything started becoming black. So he started rubbing his eyes and adding to the further mess. Completely, he was into tears, and he don't know what to do, and his whole face became something so beautiful to look at. So we have to really think that we have to really remember that beautiful face of Krishna in that mood. And Krishna is, he is crying, and his tears are coming down. All the mascara has been mixed with that and is rolling down through his cheeks, and all his cheeks has become black and things like that. Just meditate upon the beautiful form of the Lord, and immediately all the fear which is there in our lives will be completely destroyed. It will go away. So that is a greatness we have to understand. Swayam Bhayati Bhivam. So Swayam Bhayati Bhayam Bhibam. So even the Bhaya also becomes afraid of Krishna. So then immediately what happened? So Yashoda dropped the stick instantly, and she started looking at Krishna so much, and she wanted to find a solution. What to do now? Krishna has now I've caught the Krishna. So now I have to tie him up, because again he will make some pranks, some disturbances. So again break some pots. Already he has done such a big ruckus, and now if I allow him, he will not allow me to continue with my Diwali preparations. So immediately her eyes fell on that, exactly what she was looking for. What she was looking for, that the same grinding mortar which was lying in the corner, where Krishna jumped from that. That's the same grinding mortar. Krishoda pulled Krishna to that, and immediately he reached to that palace. And what happened, when the Krishna was taken towards almost towards the main gate of Nanda Maharaj's palace, and chase was such a intense that all the public also started looking at the whole the scenario. What is happening? Mother is running behind the son. What did he do? Some mistake, some mischief he has done. So practically all the people have also had gathered there. So Krishna dragged Krishna to that mortar, and is such a humiliation. Krishna is getting humiliated. Uh, and first and foremost, mother has caught him. Second one is he got humiliated because a lot of people also watching that he has been dragged by his mother to tie him up. Just imagine if someone goes to tie us up. So unless until someone has done a crime, isn't it? So it was a good humiliation for Krishna. So what is happening? So Krishna, just imagine Krishna is ready to get humiliated also by his own devotees. He never takes that to his heart or to himself. Just imagine Krishna is ready to get his humiliation in any way. That is greatness of bhakti. Please understand. So then what she did, she has to tie Krishna now. So for a moment she was just looking up, trying to fetch some rope so that she can tie Krishna to that mortar, the grinding mortar. So finally she got an idea. So what was her idea? The idea was right in top of her head. What was that? She had that braided hair where she had a ribbon. So long ribbon. So there'll be a long ribbon. So there was a long ribbon, and she just removed that ribbon and started. She was not sure about the length of the ribbon, but anyway, nevertheless, let me first start trying that. And she opened that hairs and immediately removed that ribbon. And in one hand, she's holding Krishna's hand, other she tried herself to remove the ribbon from her right hand. And she started. She decided to she tie Krishna in through that ribbon. And it so happened she tied one round, two round to that mortar. Immediately, it fell short of two fingers short. In Bhagavatam also says two fingers short. Two fingers short was this much. Two fingers short, probably this much. Two fingers short. Then unable to tie, unable to make a knot. So she then what she did, she looked around and she could get some silk ropes which was there here and there thrown. So she got some silk ropes and she again tied together, making it little more longer and adding on to that the main ribbon. And she immediately again she tied around the mortar, but again it fell short by two fingers. And all the maids who gathered around their household who were engaged in household activities, they all came there, and she sent all of them, all the maids, oh, all of you, please come here, get me some ropes fast soon, other Krishna will again run away from here and I can't manage him, he has become so naughty. So all the maids, ran in the every corner of the house and returned quickly with all the ropes which they had. So they all managed to they join one rope after the one rope after the one rope after the other. Finally, they made a big rope, and then they tied Krishna, and Yashoda tied Krishna into that grinding mortar. And since it so happened after that, Krishna, when she was about to put the knot, again there was to a shock. Then again there was the two finger shot, and she was so shocked. And basically all the ropes which this maidens had brought was of soft silken ropes, because that time they're all kings. Yashoda and Nanda were the kings of Vrindavan. They're not like the coy ropes. Coy ropes are very hard and very pricky, but they are got the finest of fine the ropes. And that's what the Yashoda was trying to try Krishna with that without grinding mortar. And so she was so disappointing that what is that, after combining so many ropes also it is falling short of two fingers, two finger distance. What is that? What is happening? She could not, she was completely bewildered and she could not understand the phenomena which was happening there. But she was very much decided, and I will not going to give up this. And I'm going to tie him up. I can't simply leave like this. Again, make a whole mess. And first of all, he has made a mess. I have to clean up. And again, to make ready for the festival. What is this? So the acharyas beautifully explain what is the two finger distance. What is the two finger distance that she was unable to tie Krishna to that grinding mortar. So they say that is the essence of bhakti. So the path of devotion was something very much hidden in this two finger distance. What is the two finger distance? The acharyas say that the one finger is nothing but it represents the devotee's effort in the devotional service, and the second finger, it represents the Krishna's grace. So one side it is a devotee's efforts, and second one is Krishna's grace. So if a devotee puts efforts, but if he is deprived of Krishna's grace, then the loop doesn't fix. At the same time, if the devotee has Krishna's grace, but he avoids to put efforts, then again the loop doesn't get complete. It becomes complete. It remains incomplete. So putting one is putting efforts is it is in our hands, But getting Krishna's grace is not in our hands, it's out of control, right? So Krishna's grace comes when he is pleased with the quality of the devotee's effort. Quality of the devotee's effort. It's very much important. So we have, if at all, if you want to draw Krishna's grace, simply effort is not alone sufficient. The quality of effort is more important. So Krishna is not pleased simply by the performance of our bhakti, but he is very much interested in the attitude behind performing that bhakti. So bhakti is performed, very much important, with the right kind of attitude is what we have to look here. Krishna is trying to teach us. So ordinary devotees, they focus simply on bhakti, but extra devotees, they focus on performing bhakti with the right kind of attitude, right kind of mood, right kind of bhava is very much important. So Krishna is not allowing himself to get tied despite all the Yashoda's effort. So here we have to understand that Mother Yashoda is putting Krishna, so much effort to bind Krishna, but still she was, but all the materials in the world. Just imagine you have big temples, it's like all the ropes she has gotten. So all the build temples, do book distribution, do everything you do. But if you don't have proper attitude behind what you are doing, Krishna is not simply pleased. Only you may get a lot of punya, you may get a lot of the piety, but if you want Krishna's grace, Krishna's attention, then we have to really have right kind of attitude, right kind of mood while doing that service. So when Krishna saw that Yashoda was struggling so hard, it so happened she that she got all the ropes from the things which is there around that, and further she tells all. See, very much important here. Uh, Krishna was trying to Yashoda was trying to bind Krishna to the grinding mortar. So Krishna is one more name of Krishna is called as the Muktaya. Mukti Pradayaka, isn't it? Then Krishna Ashtotara is there, isn't it? So he's a liberated one. So all the shackles, see, all the shackles in this material world binds everyone. What are shackles which is all bind all of us is a desire, name, fame, wealth, habits, and the cycle of birth, death, old age is all the different shackles which is there, which is right tied upon the Hridaya Granthi. So much granthis, one above the other. There's so many hard knot we have been tied. So none of us are free. But Krishna is always liberated. He is never bound to anything, any shackles of this material world. He is always called as a Muktaya. So, very much important to understand. So, the Muktaya, the one who is liberated, has become here Bandhana. He is one who is bound. So, even the greatest yogis are unable to bind Krishna. And the demons could not kill Krishna or tie Krishna. Or simple gopi of Vrindavan is trying to do, which is not really thought about. So we have to think that Krishna's the greatness. Actually, further Krishna is showing to the world, showing to the world that have we anything heard about the pastime of Shiva being tied by his devotees? No. Or any the Skanda devotees or the Durga devotees or Ganapati devotees or any other gods devotees. Their devotees are tying their god like this. No, Krishna wanted to show that that is a speciality of me, that my devotees can bind me also. I'm so friendly to everyone. So that's a greatness, that is a God that is complete in himself. Purnasya Purnamada Purnamaya Vashishe. He is complete in himself. So she finally, what she told all the maids and all the servants which are there around, she ordered, all of you go and find the ropes everywhere and please bring more ropes here. And practically every string of cloth was found which was hanging here, there, some of the pots and the buttermilk and yogurts, what all the finest of wine ropes was there. All the gopis went and they brought, and finally they all combined together. Again, it falls short by 2 fingers short, and she was so shocked. And see, the whole Diwali festival was completely forgotten. The whole Vrindavan was creating another festival. What was the festival? The festival of ropes. There's a rope festival. Bring rope from here, bring rope from there, tie together, come in together, tie to Krishna around, one round, two round, two round. Again, it is becoming short, 2 fingers short. And all the Vrajavasis also seeing this. What is happening? Yashoda is trying to do something which is impossible. Yashoda, again, she ordered all the gopis There are all the cowherd, her servants and the maids. You go to cowshed because Yashoda Nanda Maharaj had 9 lakh cows. Isn't it? In the cowshed there will be so many ropes. So all the gopis went there and in the cowshed, and they all gathered, united all the ropes which was there in the cowshed, and they all brought in the big heaps. The big heap was made, and all was tied one after the other, making a big huge rope. And that whole rope festival was done. And Krishna was so much determined. He was determined to resist being bound by Yashoda, but here Yashoda was so much determined to Krishna to tie this binding mortar. So here whole villagers of Vrindavan was seeing that how Yashoda was so much struggling. Why he can't? Thousands of ropes are required to tie a small child, and they felt so sorry that so they started advising Yashoda. So what advice they were giving? Then they told Yashoda, please give up this, forget this desire to tie Krishna. Probably is Krishna, this God's intention. God doesn't want Krishna to be tied like this. And there was no point tying like this. Don't go against the nature. Please give up. And immediately Yashoda was so angry. First of all, she was angry on Krishna, that is there. And these ropes are not able, she was not able to tie. And festival, she has to arrange so many things. So much tension is there in her head. And over and above this, all Rujavasis who are there around and trying to come and advise Yashoda that please give up, this is not possible for you. And even then, and with one glare, Yashoda, with one glare, she turned behind. Hey, who is this? That even with one glare, then all Yashoda, she was, that glare was sufficient for all the Rajavasis to shut their mouths. Oh, no, no, no. And she was saying that, I am the mother, and it's a duty for the mother to discipline my child. And what is the role of God here? Why are you bringing the God in this matter? And she was reprimanding all the Vrajavasis. And Yashoda placed the rope around. Finally, she placed the rope around the Krishna's waist, and once again she tried to bind all the ropes fine with the final rope. And finally, that also was falling short. The two fingers short. What is this? She was so flabbergasted. She was so confused. She was so shocked beyond her belief how this can happen. What is the mysticism which is happening here? She was unable to do this, and something which is impossible. And Krishna, has Krishna's waist has increased? No, Krishna's waist has not increased. And more and above, Krishna has been hungry, and he was fasting from morning. And how can Krishna's stomach has become more? No, not even that way. So the rope tying business was so much from morning. It all went till afternoon, and finally. The Yashoda tells to the gopis, please bring all the ropes of Vrindavan, and then all of the maidens went to each and every house. They started collecting all the ropes here and there, here and there. So entire area, the complete Nanda Bhavana was filled with full of ropes and colorful ropes with different size, different shapes, and full of ropes was there. And after, and they all got together, Rajavasis, everyone got together, trying to combine, joining each other one after other. And as a result, then she took all the ropes and started going around Krishna, around this wooden mortar, grinding mortar. And finally, and all the Vijayas was thrilled. Now what will happen? Let us see. So that was a high time. They were so much thrilled. So there's such incredible pastime which was happening, and they all gathered the rope from every part of Vrindavan. Every rope of whole of Vrindavan was lying in Yashoda's feet, and she was all the maidens, everyone, they immediately got into action. They started joining together and made a big rope, and the whole process went on till afternoon, and almost was merging into the evening. And they were all turning, and the sun was about to set here, and she was so tired. And but mother's determination was so much, and she wanted to tie Krishna in whatever way it is, but her determination did not decrease a bit. And Krishna's determination to not get tied was also did not was also was not decreased. So in this way, both have all the rice was time, and everyone was just looking what Vrajavasis were looking. Now what happened? All the ropes was been used. We don't have any more ropes. So the Krishna was sad and in the grinding mortar, and he was just looking at Yashoda, and sometimes he was laughing. Mother, what are you doing here? So whenever Krishna used to look at Yashoda's effort, and she was just smiling, grimming. And immediately when Yashoda looked at him, and immediately Krishna, he lowered down his head and started showing up that he is very morose and very sad. But when Yashoda is very busy in tying and all those things, and Krishna used to look her and smile, and so that pretension was going on. So as the rope festival was going on like this, and Yashoda was finally, all the ropes are there and all the news went on here and there, and she was completely was dripping with all the sweat. And when this was happening, what happened, all the Yashodas, all the Yajavasis told that, see, we told you, no, we're not able to tie Krishna in this way. There's God's blessings, and like God has to bless. Some mysticism is happening here. God is not allowing you to do this. And when she was all the Brajavasis are seeing this fun, what is going to happen this. And here Yashoda was completely drenched with lot of sweat here. And as she threw the rope behind Krishna and tried to bring the rope, all the two ends of the rope, and want to tie Krishna, and something mysterious happened here. Something mysterious happened here. So what happened? So beautifully, our acharyas explained that there's a third hand. When as soon as the drop of the sweat from Mother Yashoda's body fell on Krishna, as soon as this happened, Krishna's heart started melting. And he suddenly became so compassionate for his mother that all of his pent up anger, so much anger which he had gathered, everything got evaporated as soon as a drop of sweat just fell on him. So, very much important, we have to understand. I used to always say that Krishna doesn't count how many drops of the drops of tears you put, but Krishna counts how many drops of sweat you put. So, this is very important. We have to learn in our life. So, here, when the drop of sweat of Yashoda just touched Krishna's body, immediately Krishna becomes so compassionate for his mother. And at that time, some little hands just emerged between the Krishna and Yashoda. So when Krishna got the compassion within himself, immediately there's some little hands which just emerged between Krishna and Yashoda. And it was so delicate, the hands were so delicate, so fragrant, and both mother and son became turned so simultaneously, they became so ecstatic. And because of that beautiful hands, and that was Radha, Srimati Radharani, and she also had come there, and she also had brought her ribbon from her hairs to give to Yashoda to tie Krishna. So, and by that time, when she reached there, when everyone said, so while coming, Vijayavasi said, no, no, all the Leela is finished completely. Krishna, Yashoda is tied, but by the time you go there, Keshav would have tied, but still Radharani was so much determined. No, 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 I will also go and contribute something to Yashoda because he is so struggling, because this word had spread everywhere. So she was so determined to help Yashoda to tie Krishna. So Yashoda saw that ribbon of Radha's hand, and she took it and tied the rope to attempt to make it something which is impossible. So immediately we have to understand here, when Krishna becomes pleased by our attitude, so she has been trying from morning to afternoon, almost to evening. Please understand, devotional service also. It is not that Sunday I come and do service and forget for next 7 days, next 6 days. It's not like that. We are and so much struggles or challenges or difficulties which come in our life. I've been chanting Hare Krishna mantra for 10 years, but there's nothing is happening to me. I'm suffering. I'm struggling and all those things. But just imagine, you should never give up. Just like Yashoda never gave up. Despite all the difficulties, all the struggles, all the humiliation, all the stresses and distresses which she had, but still that she was trying to serve Krishna with with the wonderful attitude, wonderful mood. When her struggle touched Krishna and he becomes very compassionate, immediately Radha appeared there. Radha appeared there. So Ahaladini Shakti, when Radharani appears there and she makes something which is impossible. Even Krishna may be not willing to get tied, but Radha's power makes a Krishna tied to that grinding mortar. So something which is very much impossible because of a bad karma and bad sufferings we have to go through. But if that struggle is there, and definitely Radha will be very much pleased by your struggle, and she would interfere in your life, in our life, and she would further and influence Krishna to bless us with that grace, so that the two-finger shot is completely be decreased, and the knot is tied. We have to get tied with Krishna's love. So that little drop of sweat from the mother's forehead, which and the little ribbon of Radharani's hair, what even millions of ropes could not do in Vrindavan, they did it. So just imagine Krishna allowed himself to be bound. And that's what immediately she got that, she got a perfect fit, and she was able to tie Krishna. As soon as she tied a knot to the knot to Krishna, she immediately joyfully she started shouting Damodara, Damodara. So look, now Krishna got a new name. So there the Damodara name was Namakaran happened. The name came for Krishna, that he was bound by the belly, at the belly. So everyone began to start shouting Damodara, Damodara, but no one was able to believe what has really happened. And it was not just simply a Damodara, but it's Radha Damodara, isn't it? That one whose belly was bound by Radha's love. To get Radha's love, our effort, proper mood, proper intention is required. So, with the Radha's love, and Krishna was bound, not by mortals, even though Yashoda was great devotee, but still she was a Jiva Tattva. And no Jiva Tattva can bind a Paramatma or the Supreme Personality, but only by this which is his own potency called as Radharani, we can achieve this, not by any means. Understand? So the impossible has become very possible. So Krishna was finally bound, and as soon as the knot was tied, and something immediately, some miracle things happened. What happened? All the roaches there around there, and immediately all became one. It became one and became so mysteriously, it all became shrunk and all merged with one rope and became as if it was a simple Mother Yashoda's ribbon where Krishna was got tied to that. That's what the whole thing was there. And further, we'll discuss how she cleaned the whole mess where Krishna is prepared, where he had done. And after that, how Krishna goes to this Arjuna trees, Yamala Arjuna trees, and delivers Nalakuvara. That will hear in the next session, the final session, probably next week. Thank you all so much for your patient hearing. Radha Damodara ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any Hare Krishnas?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay, good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so